Hi guys, and welcome back to How I Failed in Business, the business podcast that looks at things a little bit differently. We're here to celebrate the losses just as much as we celebrate the wins. I am one half of your host, Sophia Grace.
Sorry, I feel like I jumped in there. I'm the other host, Rob Spence.
And today we have a very special guest. We are joined by Charlotte Steele, one of the excellent business coaches of Evergreen Coaching. Coaching. My God, I need speech coach. Oh my God.
It's Friday afternoon.
This is me catching whatever you've got that means that you cannot open up.
We've gone through such a period of welcoming guests, no problem, no qualm, one take Spence, in and out, sorted, done and dusted. Yeah. Recently, I've just been mumbling and stumbling and messing everything up, and so that's now
in the
passed
next few episodes, you just see Rob get virtually redder and redder as he sort of goes
Hot
through
flushes,
everything.
yeah.
But anyway, much more interestingly, Charlotte, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to today.
Brilliant. So tell us sort of a little bit about what it is that you do, how you got sort of going in business.
So I'm a business coach and a consultant. I work with aspiring entrepreneurs and current startup founders. I also work with SME business owners as well. So we look at building ideation stage right through to actually creating the company and getting that started and growing. So we provide hands-on support for financial management, process management and strategic management. I'm losing it now.
Yeah, it's now passing on to you.
Yeah, so we help our clients with leadership and strategic management as well. We work a lot at the moment with universities, funnily enough. So there are lots of universities within the West Midlands that have got their own enterprise programs. They have like a boot camp set up, and it's there as an optional service that the students can apply for. So they'll carry on and do their course that they're on at the moment, and then they can join the boot camps and get a bit more insider information of what it is and what it takes to start a business. So that's where we work hand in hand with the universities to then help deliver the enterprise programs for them, and it's very enjoyable. It's something that we didn't think would ever be on our radar, but here we are, and it's very fulfilling. It's very purposeful led.
Yeah, and you can really see that in her eyes, can't you? You can see like the passion toward it all. Yeah. If you don't mind me asking, where's this journey come from then? So you've gone into this coaching. How did that all start out?
Well, funnily enough, one of the businesses that we're going to be talking about is one of the coaching and consultancy businesses that I had years ago that failed. Okay. And I have always, from the age of probably 16, had this zest for wanting to understand how small businesses work. And I've worked with clients from a very early age to understand how their businesses are set up and how they're run. And I've worked within startups as well and SME businesses, and just consumed all of that knowledge, that tangible knowledge and experience, to then put everything together and offer it out as a service. I find it incredibly rewarding to sit with somebody, whether they're either a client or a prospect or even somebody that you just see in the pub, to sit with them, listen to what their idea is or what their startup business is, and listen to the early set challenges that they have. And I can go, right, this is the direction that you need to look at, or have you thought about this idea? Have you looked into this particular type of software? Or hang on a minute, look at your profit margins and make sure that they're this. So to be able to just at the heart of it's helping people, and I sleep very easily at night knowing that I've helped somebody. It doesn't need to be loads, even if it's just one person that you've made a difference for that day. There's a magic that comes alive within me just knowing that I've done my bit for somebody else.
Oh, that's fantastic. I think it's really interesting what you said about universities, because I went to Birmingham University, so West Midlands.
Oh, brilliant.
University. And I do think that my course was nothing to do with business. I studied art history, but I didn't know sort of really the resources that were available to me in sort of taking next steps to go university. So I think the fact that you're working on that is really great, because me and all of my friends, we've all joined companies. I don't know a single person that has sort of been able to feel that they were ready or sort of business literate, competent enough to know how to strike out and start a business on their own. I think with young people, especially with the current sort of climate, there is a kind of fear on being an entrepreneur and the things that can mean. Have you sort of seen that, or like, how
absolutely.
are you sort of going about?
I mean, the universities within the West Midlands, that they're fantastic, because it doesn't necessarily matter what course you're on. That offer of help, that enterprise help is there regardless of whatever course you're on. The process is just that you have to apply, and you have to go through like a qualification period. And what that means is that you have to submit an application, put forward a good business proposal for them to say, right, okay, yes, you're a good fit, you're not going to be a time waster, and you're going to be somebody that's going to really benefit from that help and support. But I completely agree that there is a scarce realm of knowledge of people knowing how to, okay, I've got this wonderful idea, I've got this wonderful dream of starting my own business, but I don't actually know what I now need to do to get that off the ground. You know, people, I speak to some people and they go, oh, can I be a sole trader, or do I have to be self-employed? Right, that's the same thing. When do I start a limited company? How do I know with that? What do I do with HMRC? All those kinds of things. So to scrape it all back and look at the basics, just to help build their confidence more than anything, that, look, you have it within your grasp and your realms to actually start something that is going to bring you so much joy and pleasure. Yes, it'll be stressful along the way in certain parts, because business isn't linear, is it? But to share with them what tools are needed and what knowledge they need, it's fantastic. Brilliant.
It is really important. And how many people have we had on the show who, we always say, like, no one ever really teaches you how to do, unless you go through the motions of doing, business qualifications. But even then, I think it's tough until you're sort of in it and learning day by day, or having someone by your side who has done it day by day and understands, like yourself, where you can help and guide and get these projects.
Textbook is different to reality.
Oh, yes.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Well, I remember when I started my business, I read, on the run up, I read every business book I could get my hands on, every autobiography, every, business book that was recommended. And I remember being like, I know what I'm doing. Yeah. I know exactly what I'm doing. Day one of business, I had to throw it all out the window. And even now, like, I've not once this day met a business owner who doesn't just Google things. Yeah. Because we don't know what's going on. Like,
we wing it every day.
Of course we do. Yeah.
Wing it every day. Like, it's just, but it's having that mindset of knowing that I can do this.
Yeah.
Like that, okay, that challenge has come up on my desk today. I can't not do it, so let's just figure it out. But that is where people differ. So successful business owners are completely resilient and trusting in the fact that what come what may, they will figure it out.
Yeah. Constant problem solving.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, there's some bits that I've picked out on your LinkedIn that we might want to kind of dive deeper into if we may. But I'm conscious if we start to ask questions, we may end up ruining the fail or fiction game.
Okay, that's
so is
fine.
it worth playing that game now, do we think?
Shall we?
Now, so once again, this is another episode where producer Molly is, where is she away? Is she on holiday?
She's on holiday.
Is she? I should probably have asked her that. So Molly's away, so I've got to ruin my hair with these headphones and just make sure everything's working all right, because we've got some little music that plays in the background. So
and Rob also managed to turn off the audio of a podcast the other day.
Oh, so just to be clear, on our soundboard here, which I think is in frame, the music is coloured red, as to is the record button. And so I had to click anyway.
Yeah.
So
you get it.
I promise you I know what I'm on about. So just as a reminder, Fail or Fiction is a simple game. Mm-hmm. So I've prepped and warned you to create or think of 2 true stories and 1 false story. Yep. With good warning this time.
Yes, I heard.
So, I'd like you to share those 3 stories with us.
Okay.
And Sophia and I have got to guess which are the true stories, which is the false story. And of course, for you playing along at home, you get to have a go as well. Do we keep the scores on this one?
Yeah.
We do? Okay, so...
Oh, no, I lie. We don't.
Do we not? Generally, what does Molly do?
Oh, no, we do. We don't know what Molly does. Molly does something.
She does some magic behind the scenes. But I think we're up to 14, 12 after...
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's all going to get messy now, isn't it? No, 13, 11.
Okay.
Because Michael's miles in the future.
Oh, the scores are on the doors.
They are. So, without further ado, can you please reveal your 3 stories to us, please?
Okay. So what level of detail do you actually want of how they started, how they failed?
Just top level, and we may probe.
Okay. Right, fine. So the first one is I used to own an online sex shop, and it was a fantastic business that was on a dropshipping model.
Mm-hmm.
So I started that business as a passion project, and also as a sensible business move of, right, okay, let's think of what will always be in demand. So we know that as an absolute constant, there's taxes, death, and people are going to have sex. So I thought, let's explore the sex industry, and that was such a fantastic business. I learned e-commerce, how to build e-commerce websites, networking. That introduced things like where you have to have a focus group and get all that information from individuals there. But that business failed because when I started selling the products, I had quite a lot of returns, not because they were broken, it was just because people would try them, no, not necessarily for me, so they would return them. And they would be, obviously...
Used,
yes. So they would be required to send them back, and they would be entitled to a refund. Now that business failed because people would send their toys back, not all of them, but there were a good number that would send them back, and I couldn't secure a recycling contract in China. So you can break down all of the composable items, get all of the inner workings, and sell them to China on a recycling contract. But I couldn't secure a recycling contract in time to save the business. So that unfortunately had to close, which completely broke my heart.
Okay. Lots to unpack there.
Lots to unpack.
I was going to say lots to go into, but we'll...
No pun intended.
No, none at all. Okay. Story number 2.
Okay. Story number 2 is I had a very good friend years ago who had whose mom would run this manufacturing business for road signs, so temporary road signs and permanent road signs, and she was an absolute powerhouse in our local area. But then the business started to dip slightly, and she wanted to come up with an innovative way of getting the road signs out there. So me and her son started a business selling road signs. So she was our direct manufacturer.
Mm-hmm.
We sold road signs on Amazon. We had our own website as well, and we had a local contract with a local waterworks as well. So all their signs used to come from us. But then that business failed because I can't stand road signs. I had no interest in them whatsoever.
Yeah.
My business partner at the time had no interest in them whatever. He's this wonderful carpenter and joiner, and he's gone off and done his own thing there, and that's his passion baby now.
Okay.
So that's the second one.
Okay. Number 3.
The third one is a marketing and compliance business that was established 10 years ago, and I was working with lots of different clients on a retainer contract, and I would help them with their marketing strategies and their marketing content, look at their GDPR as well when that came into play, and that was very exciting. Properly got me into the depths of what business coaching was and to support startup businesses. I also looked at the process management side there as well. But then that business failed because I decided to get divorced, and that was very, very, very painful time that was. So I needed the mental headspace to look after the children. I have 2 boys, So they came first and foremost, and I had to sack all my clients crudely. And I approached my biggest client, and who was a friend as well. I said, would you mind directly employing me and I can work for you to help build your startup, which turned out to be an incredibly successful business. But yeah, that business failed because of personal circumstances. It just wasn't the right time.
Okay, lots to unpack, lots to go through. So we've got the sex toy shop that went wrong because of returns.
Yes.
We've got the road sign business that was just boring.
Yes.
Understandably.
Yeah.
And obviously the third one that didn't go so well because of personal circumstance and the way. Sophia,
shall we begin to discuss?
I think we should. Lots to unpack. Lots to go. Is there anyone you want to start with?
So first of all, should we go first?
Makes sense.
This is now the second time on this podcast that we have had someone's sex toy drop shipping business fail.
Yes.
Which is, I thought would be niche. Apparently not niche.
No. And the funny thing is, we can't reveal who that was because he played it as part of his fail or fiction game. So don't want to give any answers away.
Right, okay.
Oh, it would have been after this, wouldn't it? Yeah. So we can do,
Yeah.
But his second story was also about things to do on a road, wasn't it? So
Deja vu.
Really?
Yeah. So
I need to meet this person.
There's so much in common.
Yeah.
So much. So, I mean, look, I knew you had the sex toy shop, so that's why I wanted to play this game early, just in case it came up in conversation.
Yeah.
But because of returns,
Here's the thing. You can return anything these days, can't you? You can return anything. Usually like a 30-day money back, for want of a better word, satisfaction guarantee.
but you can't do right. So
but the thing is, you can't return underwear
without the little patch on. You've got to keep that little...
The gusset guard.
Is that what it's called? Yeah.
Well, that's what I call it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, the gusset guard. You've got to keep the gusset guard on, right? So how... Because... Right, so we've got two ways to look at this. We're going to spend all episode on this. Okay. Legally, from a consumer rights, can you return a used product like that?
Can you return a user? Because you can't. There are products that you cannot return. Like you can't return makeup for hygiene reasons.
That's what I mean. But then I think from like an ethics point of view, full transparency.
Yes.
Okay. I've been ever a present customer at sex shops before. That's how we know each other. And
I won't invite you on here, wasn't it?
Yeah. And full transparency. So, some have been for myself, some have been for partner and partners, but not at the same time.
Steady.
But like one by one. I'm gonna keep digging. And not all the time do those toys match up to the reviews or the kind of desire that you think they're going to do.
Yeah.
I would never, in my right mind, be like, right, I'm going to
return this.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
Is Charlotte just a wonderful business owner who's saying, if you're not 100% happy with your product, return it? She's trying her very, very best to try and secure this contract that means that she's able to give people the best user experience. She's going to probably secure herself repeat business. The issue isn't the returns. The issue is not being able to secure a recycling contract.
Okay, right. I think we need to, let's park that.
On.
We park that.
We park that.
That's,
Story number 2.
It's in the air. We know that the sex store part is true. It's just why it failed. So the number 2, road signs.
Yes.
Them being boring seems absolutely true to me.
It does.
But is the story true?
So you had these road signs. Can you describe what the road, like what kind of road, was it like 70 miles speed limit? Or?
So you've got 2 categories. You've got permanent road signs and you've got temporary road signs. So the permanent road signs are the ones that you see, the green ones and the brown ones on the side of the road on the post.
Yes.
And then the motorway signs on the post. So they're permanent road signs. Now, temporary road signs are the ones that you see, when road works are going on the roads where workmen are just standing around or they're not there.
Or they're not there.
Never there.
They are the temporary road signs. So it's as simple as that. So there's 2 categories, permanent and temporary. The markup is very good. So if you can get into contact with a good manufacturer, the markups are good. It's just a very dull. I can't stand in front of people and be proud of road
there's
signs.
no passion in that one.
For your safety, come to us.
You see, from everything you said there, I'm gonna err that that's a true story, because you clearly know what road signs. You're going to be my road sign expert now. If ever I need.
The thing is, I know no more about road signs than is absolutely fundamentally necessary.
That's fair. I think the only thing that puts me off this story being true, would someone go on Amazon to buy a road sign? That's right. You were selling them on Amazon. Is that right?
Part of it, we had it on Amazon. Yeah.
Oh, part of it. Okay. Would you go on Amazon to buy?
She did say there's also was a website.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And then the third, shall we lock in to that second story being one of the true stories? Are you comfortable and confident with that? So the third and final one, that's going to need some unpacking. Are we locking in?
We can, yeah.
Charlotte?
Yes.
Is the second story a true story?
It is a true story.
Oh, thank God for that. We have been on a losing streak.
We have been on such a losing streak.
People have tricked us out, caught us out. So how long ago was this?
Oh, gosh. It was over 10 years ago. It's just so dull.
Yeah.
It gets repressed and it just gets forgotten about.
Yeah.
My business partner, she reminded me during a workshop, because we was talking about, make sure that you build a business that you really care about and it's purpose driven.
Yeah.
And she said, tell them about when you used to sell road signs. Like, oh, God. My heart just sank.
Just pushing it down further and
not
further.
Today. Because we've had a guest on, maybe a couple who have just said quite sort of unemotionally, I just do business to make money. Like, I've got no emotional attachment.
I build businesses to exit and that's it.
Yeah. And obviously I understand the point around that, but I'm a salesperson. I believe you can't sell anything if you don't believe in what it is you're selling. So like if you're not excited about road signs, how are you going to sell them? How are you going to be
road signs?
When you have those tough and dark days? How are you going to be like, right? I believe in this.
Let's push on. Keeping people safe.
So we still got the two stories left. Okay, so we got the sex shop and the marketing business that went wrong.
Yeah.
Just because we're slowly approaching the break, it may be worth if we park those for a minute.
Okay.
And we'll play a quick game, one of my games, if we may, Mystery Mishaps, and we'll explore them a bit deeper after the break, if that's all okay.
Yeah,
We'll keep the audience guessing and excited to move on. So, are you happy to play Mystery Mishaps?
Yeah, let's go for it.
So, quick changeover of music here.
Seamless again.
I know, this is effortless. So, Mystery Mishaps is a simple game.
Yeah.
I want to make very clear, it's you versus Sophia.
Okay.
Or, well, guest versus studio. Okay, so this is where the scores come into play. So right now it's 13-11 in favour of the guest.
Ah,
okay.
So all you've got to, you can lose everything and you'll actually be fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So the game is simple.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got now this is a UK based company that, from my understanding, are no more. Okay. Completely gone, completely bust.
Okay.
I'm going to share with you 5 clues. You've got to guess who I'm thinking about. At any clue, you can make a guess.
Okay.
Okay. Like say you're against Sophia here, so fastest finger first.
Okay.
So I'm just going to jump into clue number 1 because I think I normally give a summary. I think the summary will give it away.
Okay.
Yep.
So clue number 1. This store was famous for its festive Christmas windows, which were a beloved tradition in the UK.
Okay.
And they've gone bust.
They've gone bust. No more.
Nationwide in the UK. Am I allowed to ask more questions?
Within reason.
Okay.
Yeah, not too many.
Okay.
You know, but within reason, you should be okay. I'll give you clue number 2. Known for its middle market fashion and home goods, this store was a staple on high streets across the country.
I have an idea.
I have an idea as well.
Fastest finger first.
Debenhams.
Oh! It's
really?
Debenhams.
Yeah.
Was that where you go?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah, it was Debenhams. So well done.
Okay.
A point to you. On clue 2 as well. That's good. So I'll give you the rest of the clues. It was founded in 1906 and was the go-to for everything from clothing to electronics. Store was bought by Sports Direct in 2018, but financial troubles continued to mount. And then in 2020, the store finally closed after going into administration.
That was the second place I ever worked.
Was it really?
Ever in my life, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I worked initially, you know how they have like the concessions, I worked at the Costa in it, and then I worked at the restaurant there.
Oh, that's cool.
And when I was a absolute little baby, I hated it.
Oh, goodness me.
It's a shame because, because you're based, where do you live? Sorry, where are you based? Yeah.
So I'm in between Cannock and Walsall.
Okay.
Tell by the accent.
Yeah. I don't want to assume. So did you guys have a Debenhams over in Birmingham?
I think our closest Debenhams would have been in Walsall Town Centre, but I always used to frequent the one that was in Telford.
Okay.
That was a nice store. That was.
Oh, right.
It smelled good as well. It was really good.
I think, like, for me, like, I didn't miss it until it was gone.
No,
for Leicester.
We did have a really massive one. To be fair.
And it's now. Have you ever done much shopping in Leicester? Have you ever?
No, not really.
No, you're not missing out. But the space in the High Cross, it's just
huge.
empty.
In our sort of major shopping centre, that's what it was. And then they eventually redid the whole shopping centre and built with John Lewis. And so no one sort of still went to the Debenhams. Right. And then, but it took up such a massive amount of space within the...
They leave a huge chasm, don't they, in the high streets, especially if they're not...
It's like in the Bull Ring, where it was sort of all of the floors up, and now... They've had to split them between, they're all different things now.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for playing Mystery Mishaps. Well done on your point there. So you've taken the guests now 14 to Studio 11. Yeah. So Sophia, you've got some catching up to do.
No.
We've got some more games to play. We're going to finish off your fail or fiction. And we've got another one at the end called Jingle Tingle as well. So stay tuned. We're going to listen to some short messages and we'll be back in just a second. Now, it's no secret, when you joined Paragon Sales Solutions, you came from a marketing background, bit of a sales background, but I put you through one of our online sales training courses. Can you remember that?
Absolutely, I do.
Was it good or was it bad?
It was bang on my first day, and you know what? As much as I may have detested listening to your voice for all those hours, it equipped me with all the skills that I needed to get started in my sales journey.
Well, first of all, that's rude. But secondly, you are true. And we now have 10 online sales training courses ready for you to learn in your own time. So in my day job, I'm actually a sales trainer by trade, a sales coach, and these courses have been taken on by nearly at 10,000 learners, can you believe? Nearly 10,000 learners from all across the world. And if you want to improve your sales skills, maybe you're attending a business networking event that you feel nervous about, you don't know how to do it. Maybe you've got to do some telemarketing, some telesales. Maybe you need to just up your sales game. Whatever the reason, we've got a sales training course for you. Now, if you do want to sign up to a course, all you've got to do is visit our website. Go to www. Why do I keep saying www? ParagonSalesSolutions.co.uk. Find the little button that says online sales training courses. Enroll there. They're very cost effective. You can do them at home, at the gym, maybe not in the swimming pool because your phone will get wet, but you can do them anywhere. And they've had Sophia's seal of approval.
They are Sophia stamped. Absolutely.
Sophia stamped. Could you believe it? But do go sign up to those, and I look forward to working with you very soon. Hello and welcome back to this episode of How I Failed in Business, joined by Charlotte Steele. And just before the break, before she annihilated us on Mystery Mishaps, we were talking about your fail or fiction stories. So I'm just going to cue the music. Reminders, give us a quick synopsis. We guessed one correctly. Mm-hmm. So we guessed the road sign stories being true, which was a true story. Give us a quick rundown as to the other two stories.
So I said about the online sex shop, which is on a dropshipping model. That failed because unfortunately I couldn't secure a recycling contract. So when customers would return the goods to us, usually you can break apart the items, shall we call them, and any of like the metal workings, you can then sell them on a recycling contract back into China. We couldn't secure one, so that's why that business failed. Yeah. And the second one was the consultancy business for marketing and for compliance that then unfortunately had to be closed because just timings wasn't right because of what was happening in life. So,
I'm absolutely stumped by this.
Because personal circumstances absolutely happen.
Yeah, of course they do. Yeah.
Completely. That does not seem far-fetched at all to me.
No.
To reach a point where you say, for the greater good, this business needs
100%.
to close. The sex toys one also doesn't seem super far-fetched to me.
It doesn't seem far-fetched.
Well, we know that the business existed.
Yeah.
Do we know why it closed?
It's like I say, it's the return situation for me. I'm trying to really fathom, like I say, from a consumer rights, statutory rights, all that kind of jazz. Can you legally return something? Pleasure and satisfaction is a very open discussion anyway.
Yeah.
Right. What tickles one pickle may not do another one. Okay. So that's all. It's all up for debate.
Yeah.
Who's to decide who's right? And then, would you return something?
No, never.
I just don't think you. I don't know.
Yeah, and would Charlotte lie that her business had closed due to her divorce?
No. I don't know. This is the first time I've met her. She could do anything for the win. We don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think that one makes the most. I think you hit the nail on the head. Really, I think the business going, or having to exit the business because of personal circumstances, I think makes far more sense than it makes far more sense than people returning toys. Are we locking?
Do we lock in?
There's people listening to this at home going, guys,
come on,
you can't return things. So Charlotte,
yes,
is the third story the true story?
It is.
Oh.
Well done.
So do you mind if we probe into that a little bit? So
I'd also say that the first story, of me having an online sex business is true. I was a bit naughty with trying to mix it up a little bit with a hybrid of it.
You're not the first.
Yeah.
You're not the first. Don't you worry. It's happened before and it'll happen again. So in terms of, the consultancy business, was that kind of like a nice feeling of relief when you kind of, left it, or was it a despair?
It was, it was another nod to, this is not a nice chapter in life at all. But it's funny because when I was talking about businesses failing, I have a mindset of if something doesn't work, I don't class it as a failure. Yeah. Technically it is on paper, but you learn so much from all these different things that you get involved in. I was grateful for that opportunity, albeit it was short at the time. It was only a couple of years.
Yeah.
But I was grateful for the reassurance that I can sell. I can go into a business and I can sell services and I can build a relationship with prospective clients to then convert them into paying clients, which was nice. There was obviously the huge changes to the Data Protection Act of 2018 for GDPR. Yeah. So I learned an awful lot about that. That was useful because a lot of businesses were completely up in air, up in arms, of going, what on earth do we do?
There was panic, wasn't there?
Yeah. What do we do? I went into one of the clients and I did workshops, training courses with them, and I also assessed their systems and was able to provide a report to say, right, this is where your business needs to invest and improve in order to meet your compliance. So to have that particular contract was a great feather in one's cap because it was a big company as well. But for that particular time in my life, it just was not the right time to own a business. It was so stressful and demanding, but it wasn't the business that was causing the stress. It was the situation at the time with choosing to leave my husband, and the kids were 2 and 3 at the time. Okay. So, it was all hands on deck with just making sure that my bubble was safe, and I couldn't serve my clients that I had on the books at the time to the standard that they needed and they originally signed up for. It wasn't fair. So, I had to make the difficult decision, but it was the right decision for lots of different reasons. The clients were then handed over to, contacts that I had within my book, if you like, my black book. And I then had an opportunity of a door opening, of helping my friend to build their their startup business, which was, I mean, what a chapter that was. That was a huge positive, that was. So there we go.
I think it's so important. We talk about it a lot on the podcast, and even here, like, you can't fill from an empty cup.
No.
You've sometimes got to be selfish and put yourself first, haven't you, really, and look after you and yours, because otherwise your output's shocking.
Well, integrity is a massive thing. It's so important to me to have integrity, particularly when you're in a position where somebody's paying you for a service. So those clients had signed a contract, agreed to pay me, you know, X amount a month for X amount of output in terms of service delivery. So I was in a position where I just couldn't fulfil what that contract stated, and it wouldn't have been fair on them to have pretended that I could, you know, and it would have been a huge knock on my integrity. It just simply wasn't the right time.
So can we, if we may, just go back to your online sex shop?
Oh, yeah. yes.
So, I mean, clearly fond memories by the sounds of things.
Absolutely, yeah. Not for like the smutty, seedy reasons that the audience are probably thinking, but that was my first business that was truly led by passion. Again, no pun intended. I just, what a world that is to be involved in, like the exhibitions that you could go to, the networking that you could do, the industry itself, the business owners within that industry are so friendly and are so approachable with wanting to help other people that are wanting to get into it. I befriended a wonderful gentleman called Brian, who is based again in the West Midlands. He's got his own shop, and he explained that every council has got a set number of licences. So in Leicester, you could have 2 sex shop licences, and they're non-negotiable. They are what they are. They're not going to change unless something, you know, drastically happens in the confined space of the council. But if those licences are taken up, you can't then open a high street store that sells sex toys. So Ann Summers gets around this because they're not a sex toy business, they're a lingerie business. So they fall outside of that compliance scope of having one of those licences. So understanding all of that and just how all of that operates, so understanding what that then meant, I know that I couldn't set up a high street shop, it had to be online. So I went down to a supplier who's the biggest supplier in the UK. They're based in Hampshire, or they were based in Hampshire when I had my shop. And again, like, they're just so approachable. You know, what does this do? You know, what does the future look like in this particular category? And they're just full of people that are wanting to help, and you can ask them whatever question you want. It's not felt with any, you know, air of awkwardness or like, it's a bit of a taboo subject, let's not go there. But that business, although it was a passion-based project business, unless you've got the marketing budget, good luck with trying to get that off the ground, because there are already some big boys in the industry based in the UK that if you're wanting to take them on, at that time it was pretty much impossible. I mean, you couldn't even set up a bank account with a high street bank because they were so we're not supporting those types of businesses. So every angle that you tried to set up for the business, even at conception stage, was fraught with challenges. But
which is such a shame. I'd like to think, I mean, if you don't, how long ago was that you were doing that? If you don't mind?
Oh God, I set that up when I was 19, and I think it was registered when I was 21. So 13 years ago. Okay,
right, yeah. I'd like to think times are changing a little bit. Like, we were saying this with another guest. Like, I think, I don't know. I think it's because we hear the word sex shop and we think seedy.
Oh yes,
our head,
dirty.
Blacked out windows. Dare you go in?
which it shouldn't be. It's a very liberating thing. It's a very open thing. It's something that we all do. We all need. It's it's a basic need and requirement. And like, you go to other countries, and it's very open. Yeah. It's very talked about. It's like, it's not like hush hush, like, say, behind the seedy man's, oh, come on in and look at my VHS collection or anything like that. It's not like that at all. And
I think the the openness to toys, is there, and it's great because people are embracing, that side of your private life. I think there's still a taboo with speaking openly about sexual experiences, and women being, women. I'm not sitting here as a feminist, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm so anti all of that. I'm pro collaboration of everybody.
Yeah.
But I think for women, if I just look at the conversations that I've had with my friends, on a girls' night out, there's still a scarce, don't really want to
and
talk
I think
about
there's a bit more, and again, not to generalize anything, a bit more of an openness to women amongst themselves to speak about personal experiences. But I think especially with men, there's not really an open discussion between other men.
Quite grasped the standard tone of communication, particularly with your partners as well, or like just with whether that be a long-term partner or just a hello, short name kind of partner. I think there's still quite a big barrier there with that communication of being able to feel comfortable enough to say, well, this is what I like, this is how my body works, because I still think that's the realms of taboo.
Yeah. Do you think it is a British thing, sort of the tight upper lipness of
we're
it?
so prude. Like when you compare the rest, to the rest of Europe.
To anyone watching or listening now that might be looking, that they have the deepest passion for the sex toy industry, do you think it's something to get into now, perhaps more than it was 13 years ago?
Well, I would say, because I'd love to get back into it, I really, really would, but I would like to market myself as a key person of influence for a particular type of niche. So I'm a mom since that business closed, and the changes of your body and what that looks like after children. I remember panicking a few months after my firstborn, going, oh my God, my body is no longer the same. It doesn't work the same. It demands a different type of experience. But I panicked because I was like, that sensation and all your muscles and stuff, oh my God, it's never coming back. So to get into the industry where you're a key person of influence, to say, right, this is what happened, it's completely normal. Let's talk openly about it, you're not on your own. But these are the toys that you can invest in that will help to bring all of that back. So instead of offering a wide range of toys, if I were to ever get back into that market again, I would look to get into like the Kegel weights.
Oh, yeah.
So to help, mums that have just had children, when it's safe to do so, obviously to start using things like that. But to come from a place of education and transparency, and just don't panic, it will come back, but these are the things that you can buy to help get you there.
If you do start that again, let us know. We'd love to have you back
absolutely.
on.
I'd love it, yeah, thank you.
And talk about it again.
Space.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we've got about 10 minutes left of the recording, and I still want to play Jingle Tingle, which is a nice move on from the sex toy conversation, I guess. But I mean, you've been doing some great work in the coaching industry and coaching young entrepreneurs. Can I just ask, what's sort of like the one question that you are asked a lot of from some of these university students and from sort of startup entrepreneurs? What's the key burning question you're asked?
What are the metrics that I need to be looking at?
Okay.
So that's the most common question. And the second one is, how do I write a business plan?
Oh, okay.
So they're the first two. So the first one is we look at the importance of cash flow, revenue and profits. Like as a startup, they're the only three metrics that you need to be looking at. The secondary layer of, testimonials and things like that, just to make sure that your product or your service is the right fit for the market, that's important too. But so that you don't go completely mental with all the data insights, they are the three key metrics that you need to be looking at. The second one for business plans, startup entrepreneurs and people that are wanting to start their own business, their ideation stage, they get so overwhelmed with, right, how do I get all of this out of my head onto a formal plan or a formal document to bring it to life? Because I keep thinking, should I go in this direction, that direction? They just need assistance with putting all of their ideas and all of their operational formalities onto paper, but they get so overwhelmed. So we actually do a business planning workshop through our Chamber of Commerce on their behalf to lots of students now, which goes down very well, and it's fulfilling because you leave the students then with a sense of direction, higher level of confidence, and they have a tool, they have a tangible tool that they can go away with and use. So they're the two main things that come to mind, definitely.
Amazing. Well, we'll make sure that we drop obviously your links below in the show notes, and obviously we'll get you to tell us how to contact you at the end of the show as well, because I think there's loads of people that will want some help, support, advice, or even just borrowing some of your time, I guess, just to learn a bit more. I think it's so important. The next generation of entrepreneurs is the only thing that's going to keep this economy going, right?
Certainly is. So important.
Are you ready to play Jingle Tingle?
Yes, let's go for it.
Okay, so you've said yes without knowing what it is. So this could go either way. So Jingle Tingle is a very simple game. As again, you're against the studio. You're against Sophia. So
Which is just me at the moment.
It is. So what do we say, 14-11?
Yeah.
Is that right? So Jingle Tingle is a simple game. I've picked out 3 historic audio jingles, TV
brilliant.
adverts.
Okay, yeah.
You've got to guess who it was. So it could be the brand, could be the product, and so on and so forth. Okay.
I'm excited. This is good.
It's a good one.
Yeah, this is good.
It's a good. You're tingling already. I can sense it. So you've got so there's going to be 3 played.
Yeah.
The overall winner will get the point, if that makes sense. Okay. If I'm feeling generous, I may give additional points for year or anything like that.
Okay.
You ready for the first one?
Yeah.
And of course, if you are playing along at home, please do send in your scores via social media. I want to know how you get on. Here we go.
Okay.
The milk chocolatey.
Oh God.
Is it just Cadbury's?
It's not Cadbury's. There is something that's said at the end that should give it away, I think. Can you hear that all okay?
Yeah.
There?
What goes on in that bowl?
Cocoa Pops.
Cocoa Pops, yes. What gave it away? Was it the...
It was the tingle at the end.
I said there was something at the end that would give it away.
I remember that advert with somebody using that. It's Snap, isn't it?
Snap, I've got the power.
Yeah, but it was driving me mad. But yeah, that little jingle at the end.
Yeah, and just to show you, it was like milkman dancing, I think, on the advert, if memory serves. So yeah,
that was when adverts were great. That was.
Well, one of the reasons we like playing this game is because I think gone are the days of really fun, catchy adverts like we used to remember.
Everyone gets to skip after 5 seconds now. We don't get good adverts anymore.
It is. Right, you ready for number 2?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Oh, it's driving me mad. That's driving me mad.
Oh my god.
What did you say, sorry?
Is it Chewits?
Oh, it's not, but you're on the right
God.
lines.
That's driving me mad. That's what I said. It's driving me mad.
You were on the right lines. Do you want to play it again?
Yeah.
So let me just rewind.
Oh God.
Right, you ready?
Skittles.
Not Skittles. You're getting colder now. Huh?
Starburst.
Not. Similar kind of lines.
Frutella.
Frutella. Oh, there we go. Yes, Frutella. I mean, it doesn't say when that was, but it.
Have you got the video for that one?
Yeah. So let me just zoom in a little bit. So it's a lad kind of lip syncing, but very sort of 2000s kind of advert, isn't it? I think it does go on a bit longer, but obviously I had to trim it down. But yeah, it's a good advert. So we'll play the final one.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you have won the point this week, so you're taking the guests far further than the studio.
Try and avoid a complete humiliation.
Now there is one thing that happens. This is a very tough advert.
Okay.
There's one thing that happens in it that you'll get it. Okay. So keep your ears peeled. Are you ready? You're not going to get it from any of this. There's just one little bit.
I've got something to tell you. I'm pregnant.
Bisto.
Oh, God.
It was just that one
gasp. That gasp is so iconic, isn't it? Yeah.
And I think and you know what we were saying a second ago, it shows like when there's something that makes you remember.
Yeah.
Now when anyone goes, you
Bisto.
say
Bisto.
Yeah.
Bisto.
Absolutely.
Even though we did one the other day. If I say to you, you buy one,
you get one free.
I say you buy one,
You get one free.
yeah, exactly. You know, straight away, Safe Style windows and doors.
Safe Style, yeah.
There you go. And
God.
I think like we've missed that kind of play on words and those
Yeah.
kind of magical touches towards advertising.
Personality is gone.
It has.
I think it's such a
It's a
grey
grey
shade.
space.
Yeah.
It is. Maybe we need to bring it back. Maybe
Shall
we need
we?
to
Do it.
bring back TV
Do we get a
and radio
really
adverts.
cheesy advert for the
I think so,
podcast?
because I was at a networking event not too long ago, and I bumped into a solicitor from a solicitor firm,
Yeah.
and I remember their jingle from Leicester Sound from like 20
wow.
years ago,
Yeah.
and that's all I remember. And they don't do it anymore. They don't do much marketing, but I still remember that radio advert.
It's amazing,
It's
isn't
like
it?
Lawson West. it was a good advert. Well, we're slowly wrapping up on time. So, I mean, look, I've genuinely loved chatting with you. I feel like we could
thank
we
you
could
for having
talk
me.
for
Absolutely.
ages. And we've got season 2 coming up, and I'd very much like to invite you back for season 2 because I
that'd be
think
great, thank
you've
you.
delivered some great value. And I'm sure there's more we can dive deeper
absolutely.
into. But for anyone that has watched or listened to this that wants to learn more about you, wants to maybe get in touch about some coaching, how's best for people to contact you?
LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn all of the time. You'll get me probably quicker on LinkedIn than you would do the phone
Yeah.
nowadays. So yeah, you can just search me on LinkedIn, Charlotte Steele, Evergreen Coaching Group, and yeah, I'll be there. Drop me a message or drop me a connection request, and I'll be happy to accept and just see where it goes.
Amazing. Well, we'll make sure I'll add your profile to the show notes below and let people connect away if that's all okay.
Yeah, that's
But
perfect.
honestly, thank you so much. You've been absolutely a delight.
Oh, thank
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you very much. We need to start planning out who's going
We
to
do.
wrap these
we
up.
do. Shall I take it? Although
Please do.
I'll take
You
it.
take it again. Go for it.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode as much as we've enjoyed making it. And we'll be back again on Friday with our overview episode. I'm sure loads of great value. Me and Rob will dive a bit deeper into the things that we've talked about today. And then we're, of course, back next Tuesday with our next guest episode. And if you would like to start getting in touch with us about being a guest on season 2, that's what we're now taking sort of requests for. You can send us an email at howifailedinbusiness@gmail.com, or you can send us a DM. We are across social media, How I Failed in Business podcast, just about everywhere, or you can get in touch with me and Rob directly, Sophia Grace and Rob Spence. And also, no, I lie. We've had our live show.
We've had our live show.
I hope you guys enjoyed our live show. And I've lost my train of thought. I'm doing a you.
You've caught my disease right now, haven't you?
But for the sake of the fact this has been a really great episode and I've embarrassed myself twice, shall we just call it goodbye there?
We'll call it quits. Yeah.
But please do follow along with the podcast and leave us a 5-star review. It really does help so much. And we'll catch you in the next one.
All the
Bye.
best.